What's going on? Welcome to the studio. I'm Mike McFarland. This is McFarland's Corner. Lake level board, lake condition board, full. 5 days this week. It's actually Friday morning. I'm filming this Friday morning. And what I'm going to do this time for the public, free public report here, is I'm going to make it a little fatter than normal for you for the Berkeley event. All right, a week from today, you're going to have the Berkeley event set up. Signing up, ready to fish, one of the biggest events of the year. It's Berkeley event, Berkeley baits only. That's what I want you to make sure you probably already know, but I'll make sure you're clear. There'll be 800-900 boats in this event. There'll be thousands of dollars won. A brand new boat, I think, for first and second place. Don't hold me to that. But just a big event for the public only. No pros, no guides. Usually, again, 800-900 boats, 1,600 anglers or so. Huge. The Big Bass Splash had 2,100 anglers. So have a little bit less. But the difference is this is specifically for Berkeley baits. All right? So before we start talking about some things that you can do, what you can expect, and how you can go about using the Berkeley product line of baits to benefit you in this 2-day tournament, let's tell you about the lake. All right? It's really unique. Lake level wise, we are 401.11 on Monday, 401.01 on Friday morning. So in 5 days, we've barely dropped an inch. That's pretty good. That's just evaporation, rate of flow, maybe a little bit of usage locally. Nothing major changing. 0 to 1 has been the clarity for quite some time. Yesterday, I saw 2 foot easy clarity, mostly down south. So with this being said, I really feel that it's safe to say we're already down on 70 degrees, 73, 77 mark. The turnover is probably past us. I went north yesterday. That's where the clearest water was. When I went down south, I did see some dirtier water. So maybe down south in the deeper basin still has to turn over. But your arms, fingers, all the good stuff that we like to fish in November, in the fall, that's ready. It's just ready. It's beautiful, crystal clear, beautiful water. Mark Pack used to call it gunmetal blue. And that meant the water was clear. We got 2 colors on Lake Fork green, which is great and healthy, and then gunmetal blue, great and healthy. Any other color, and it's messed up. Okay, meaning mud brown, red chocolate clay brown. It can be some other colors too, but gunmetal blue is clear and Lake Fork green. Driving over the bridge, and that's what you'll see generally with some effects of some other colors. Turnover is ugly looking. Here's the reason I'm saying the turnover is finished. I can't say finished, but I detailed my boat last Saturday, and through this week, there's not a single bit of scum on it anymore. Prior to that, when that turnover's happening, you get that scum line that's stuck, that's methane gases and oils and junk that came up through that turned over, broken thermocline. Your boat gets messed up. My boat's not messed up. So that, at the end of yesterday, really reinforced me that this turnover is past us, okay? So yesterday was a little slower fishing overall, and that's the thing to remember too. It's hit and miss. You have to be recognizing that it's about bait fish and transitioning, moving. So for example, I had one cove last week that was wind blown for 3-4 days. It was full of bait because it was wind blown. The bass were going there to eat. Everything was piled up there. Well, that wind had switched 3-4 days coming out of different directions. That whole entire arm yesterday was empty. There was nothing in it. So you have to recognize that things are moving a lot this time of year. In the spring, they're moving in to spawn and stay and grow and enjoy spring until it gets too hot. Come out in summer. In the fall, they're only chasing the bait fish, whatever the bait fish do. That's it. If the bait fish never go into the shallows, the bass never go into the shallows. We've had no vegetation in a low lake a few years ago. They didn't go to the shallows because there was nothing for the bait to go to. Bait stayed deep, fish stayed deep. So now I'm helping you out more than I think I ever have in the public in a long time. What you should be focusing on is bait fish, areas of bait fish. Look for your birds, your blue herons, your white egrets, your little tiny tern bird. When he's sitting out in the treetops, he's around the food, okay? Your variety of baits that you're going to choose, that is to be decided by you. Nothing's better than confidence. But I want to assure you a couple things. Berkley has created a line of baits for just about everything now. They've covered spinner baits, jigs. They covered the things that they didn't have in the past. You've got topwaters, choppos, ploppers, crankbaits, jerk baits. You have the entire line. Spinner baits. This is a Sandtone spinner bait, but they do have Berkley spinner baits. I know they have jigs. I don't know if they have a swim jig. I'm assuming they do, but most jigs can be used as a swim jig anyways. Okay, so hard bait-wise, reaction bait-wise, you have all kinds of stuff that they made a line of for, but remember this. You can use other baits, like a buzz bait, remove everything, all the plastic, all the skirts, and put a Berkley bait on it. You know, this is a Berkley toad, okay? So I can remove all this stuff, put the Berkley toad on here, which, by the way, is a great bait in the fall, period. You can take a jig head and put a Berkley swim bait of some sort. This is the deal. And you know, it doesn't, with the soft plastics, you can take a shaky head and put a worm on it, or put a creature bait on it. When you're using those Berkleys, remember that. That's a really cool trick. So be around the bait. Here's a couple more tips. You know, there was 21 overs caught in the Big Bass Splash. Generally, in past history, the lake will turn over after right in that Big Bass Splash window. The history for me, anyways, the last 11 years is fishing's great summer, and then it gets a little too hot, and then we start to cool down, and September gets really good. Big Bass Splash whacks it, the lake turns over, and Berkley is brutal. That's what I've seen for 10 years, with the exception of if we have a mild turnover. You know, it's a little better fishing, but usually 3, 4, 5 overs are what this Berkley is all about. Not this time. This is one of the first, again, if I'm right, and I believe I am, the way it's fishing, the way it sets up, the way I see the sonars, where the fish are, what's happening, there'll be more this time. There'll probably be about 15 overs at least. It's going to fish really, really well. There's no bad weather in between here and now. So even if I'm wrong, this lake is not going to turn over in the next week or two before you're there. All right, expect some good fishing. Couple more tips. You know, your soft plastic line of baits. When Berkley talked about on a package, this max scent, for example, catch 45% more. You know, one bait says 18 times longer. They hold on 18 times longer. Another says catch 45% more. This is actual packaging that they could be sued if they didn't have some kind of proof. And so they've done the testing. They have the science and the backing between pros and I want to say tanks and testings and things. They have proof to that. And here's the deal, I'll tell you. That's what this event's so unique. But I got so many pro friends out there on the circuit that I grew up with on the West Coast, and they're still fishing both MLF and BASS. And any one of them, if you really sit down with them and ask them, they'll tell you that if you aren't fishing with this line of baits competitively, you're getting beat by guys who are. That's it. All right. Do I use a lot of other things? You're darn right I do. I'm a fishing guide. There's more than one way to skin the cat. Your confidence is the most important thing. The more confident you are, the better. All right. So remember that. Look for clean water. There's both types of fish. You can have fish in vegetation areas. It doesn't have to have lily pads. It doesn't have to have grass. It just doesn't. Pay attention to wherever that bait is, and it's shallow. All right. I'm not a deep water fisherman in the fall. I don't like it. I really do stay shallow. When I say shallow, I mean less than 10 feet. And just watch and pay attention how those fish will move in. Sometimes they'll be in 1 foot of water, and the next day or later that day they're in 6, 8 feet of water. But they just don't move far once they've moved in. All right? They move with the bait. That's it. All right, one more little tip for you. We're not going to do a crappie report on this one. Fishing line. The other day I just reminded myself of how important this stuff is. You know, as a fishing guide, man, I've got 30 rods, 15 on each side, 15 reaction, 15 soft plastic type or finesse type, and worming, jigging rods, and on and on and on. And that stuff, that line, and if you spool up 30 rods, watch how much line you go through. It's just like you hear the dollars, ching, 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 ching. And so this stuff right here, KVD, the line conditioner, used properly, used regularly, will make your line go 3, 4, 5 times. Anyways, where I'm getting at is I just went and re-spooled all my stuff, and I realized by my notes that it was over 2 months ago. that I had respooled, almost 3 months. No issues, no breakdowns, no bad deals. They were starting to finally, need it. It was time. But here's how I use this. Okay. Number one, when I go to put a new line on, I take a little tiny cloth, just a piece of corner of a cloth, soak the cloth, put the new line on through that cloth. That cleans that new line off the spool, puts it on, conditions it going on. It's going to fish real well. Here's the hard part. At least once a week, if you can, if you're a real avid fisherman like myself, I definitely once a week, I'm going to do this. As I come off the water, when I get home, I basically soak those spools a little bit and then stretch them out and rewind them. And I got a long 100-yard driveway. It makes it real neat. You can do it at the end of your day. You say, hey, last cast. I know it's a pain in the butt, but it's better than in the economy we're getting at. And if we don't get Trump as our president, you better stock up on some of this stuff and fishing line now. And you better start using it, saving it, make it last as long as you can, because we in trouble. But anyways, KVD line conditioner, start using it. I guarantee you'll make a big difference in your fishing. But here's the cool thing. Your line can be at the end of the day a little funky, a little dirty, especially with turnover. You clean it up the next morning, it's fresh and brand new, cast like a dream. Why not take the time to take care of your stuff, all right? That's it. If you hit this lesson real good, or this information, you found this really good, hit the like button. Comment below if you want more. In a minute, I'm going to jump in the boat, and I got the whole setup. Reaction rods, non-reaction rods, on how I would approach this Berkeley. And it's the members only channel that's going to get that information. So if it's private information, it's more detailed. I'm going to talk about more parts of the lake that are better than others, explicitly get you where the fish are. If you're interested in that, look in the description below this video, click on members only, and join my channel. It's $4.99 a month. I think it might be $6.99 to sign up, and then it's $4.99 a month. Come and join our channel, especially for events like this, because listen, I try my best to help the public and give you some basic good information, but I can't spill my guts. I just can't afford to spill my guts without some kind of compensation. And so right now that members channel is huge. There are over 350 members in it for $4.99. I mean, how many bags of worms do you got to cost more than that? You're going to get 8 reports a month, and it's detailed. Here's the other thing, and I'll close you out with this. We do about 6, 7, 8 other lakes in information. I have 5 other guides who through the year will continue to give you information about Ray Hubbard, Possum Kingdom, Lavon, O.H. Ivy, Bodark, Tawakoni, Athens, Lake Welch, Winsboro, and I just even picked up Hawkins. I'm doing Hawkins. That's a lot of information. Members only channel. Look in the description below and come join. All right. Thanks again. Appreciate you. Next week, we'll tune you in. Tuesday and Thursday, I'll do some tide reports about what's exactly going on and how things are looking right before the event. All right. Thanks again.